It is a June 9th night here in the border of Bexley and Columbus, Ohio. Um, I'm sitting here uh, along the trail here, the Kroger supermarket and the gas station to the park area here in Bexley with the shelter not far off because it's talk of rain tonight. So kind of prepping myself. And I'm thinking here on this June 9th night, um, not of the fields, um, where I long to be without anyone or anybody. The woods, the fields, the hills. Once again, it's become problematic here in the country. But I'm thinking tonight of the shelters. It's like over there, you see, like way off there that nobody goes to, nobody knows. It's like, and there's no reason to go to because it's so nasty and awful. And it's like, hey, it's like, why would you go there when you could go to my mom's house or my grandma's house or Miss Liza's house? It's on and on and on. It's like, hey, you don't know, the old woman in the shoe like I do. Anyways, I'm here and I'm thinking back on this June 9th night of an incident that happened to me in a shelter, well, no, actually very different than that shelter here in Bexley. It was a shelter from a project in New Haven that the people, the loving people, had completely destroyed and run down, and because of drugs and and all this and that, they completely, another city with another project like 4 blocks long, they completely destroyed, with the drugs and the, I know somebody that can help you, or I can help you, and, it says bring your friends, and, that kind of thing. So, anyways, so I was there in New Haven one night in that apartment building, or that project, actually, is the best word. Across from the train station, and I was imbibing. I was having my few, my natty daddies to keep, myself sane, in New Haven, Connecticut. So I'm drinking, and all of a sudden, like, up comes out of nowhere, I guess through a window, or no, I was on the second floor. I mean, she had to, I was wanting to be away from people, so it had to be second or third floor that I was on the project, the shelter, the demolition that was going on, and she came up and sat down right beside me with a crack pipe. And I'm like, okay, you know. And I'm thinking, like, I'm in the middle of nowhere here. And, like, and she was young and she was beautiful. And she was at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, she's like right beside me. And I'm thinking, like, first thing is like, why are you here? It's like, it's like, this beautiful young little girl, 20, 21 years old, she's got a crack pipe, but it's like, hey, I do this, I tuck, it's like, I'm like, yeah, okay, and I sip my brew, and, she goes on and on. I'm like, and it's like, no, I'm homeless. I'm here. And it's like, I'm fine. I'm okay. And it's like, it's like, all right, well, I know, you know, Johnny Weissmiller. And it's like, no, that's okay. I'm fine. It's like, and I'm thinking about, like, why are you here? And it's like, and it's like, oh no, it's like, hey, I need to get away from him, and I can't stand him, and I need to, smoke my crack, or say, hey, like, all right, I mean, so I let her be, and she's like, she's rambling and ranting, and like I'm thinking, like, yeah, she's been smoking something, and I'm pretty buzzed by the Natty Daddies, and so I make a play on her. I make a play there in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I do the calculations, I do the tabulations, and it's like, there's no reason for this girl to be here at this hour, you know, on this day, unless she's looking for something. And it's like, you know, so I make a play on her, you know, and she, yeah, 20 years old. She, it's like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and it's like, all right, it's if I was 20 years old, she'd be yes, 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 but as a 58-year-old homeless man who's been on the road now for 4 years, it was like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, because I had the sense that she was trying to leave whoever the hell she was talking about, like this guy and stuff. But 58 years old, it ain't happening here. Without a little participation, I might add. Without a little, yeah, hey, let me help you, Daddy, kind of thing. And it wasn't, she was like, well, no, and I was like, I'm like, yeah, I was like, anyways, it didn't happen, and we just, she eventually left, and I passed out after she left. And I thought nothing of it. I thought, all right, this is over. It's like, I don't know where she came from. I never had that experience before. I've had it with guys. I mean, there's always, I've always had it with guys on the road that'll show up in the middle of the fucking morning and, like, I'll wake to them and shit like that. And it's like, fuck. It's like, hey, what are you, who are you? What are you doing here? And it's like, but I've never had, like, a woman, like in the really middle of nowhere, like appear in this like abandoned mile-long project in New Haven. So I was kind of mystified. But anyways, I was drinking my beer and I finished it and went to sleep. I woke up to the sound of people talking in the space in the building that I was in. I heard like echoes throughout the empty there were no walls or anything like that, or doors or anything. So anybody came up on the floor of the project that was being demolished, you heard them. So, all of a sudden I hear like voices like on the second or third floor of this abandoned project I was sleeping in. And I'm like, whoa, it's like, what's going on? And so I sit up. And when I sit up, I got a smack across my head. No, it wasn't a smack, it was a punch across my head. And I was like, whoa, it's like, what? It's like, and before I could think, it was like, what's going on? It's like, I got another punch across my head. And all of a sudden I hear this man say, it's like, if you ever do this again, I swear to God, man, I'm like, what is going on? It's like, hey, I'm just, it's like, mind you, it's like 3 a.m, man, and this guy is wailing on me, and to make it more surreal, more crazy, is this guy's got like a uniform on. He's got like some military kind of, he's not doing no Starbucks, black, Johnny Cash black. I mean, this mother's got like a uniform on. He's wailing on me. And it's like, and it's like, if you ever touch her again, I'm like, what the hell? It's 3 a.m. It's like, it's like, really? It's like, hey, so, and so I try, of course, to stand because I want some position to, defend myself. I'm on the ground here, and this man, with his woman is like, he's, it's, so I'm looking for like, vantage point. So I stand up, and it's like, immediately he's like, oh yeah, stand up. Oh yeah, stand your ground. I'm like, dude, what am I supposed to do here, man? Like, you're wailing on me, you're yelling at me. It's 3 a.m. You just woke me up. It's like, it's my woman, it's like, damn. So when I woke up, they ran off. Him and his woman, I guess, had enough. And so, and I guess he thought, he taught me, this 58-year-old man, a lesson about, dealing with this 20-year-old girl, who for some reason wanted to exert her power in some empty project in New Haven, Connecticut at like, 11 o'clock at night. And it's like, hey. Hey, it's life on the road. It's William at the Bexley Park shelter. And,